and welcome. This is Haske-Tv News, and I am Christiana Babayo. Governor of Taraba State, Dr. Abu Kefas, has assured the youth of the state of empowerment to enable them live productive lives. The governor, Dr. Abu, stated this when he received hundreds of youths who protested to the government house to show their grievances over the hunger and suffering in the land. Our correspondent, Sani Zakarilo, was at the government house and now reports.
Protesters in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, who joined the nationwide protest against hunger and suffering, took to the government house Jalingo, and the governor of Taraba state, Dr. Abu Kepas, came out and addressed the protesters. Dr. Abu Kepas, who agreed that there is hunger and suffering in the land, said it is his responsibility to make sure that the youth get the best in life. He assured them that everything possible will be done quickly to help them and urged them to organize themselves in groups so that assistance could reach them.
My brothers and my sisters, on a very, very serious note, there is problem, there is hunger.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. That's the fact. That's the fact we are here.
It is my responsibility,
Yes, sir.
as your brother,
Yes, sir.
as your governor,
Yes, sir.
to make sure that the best come back to you.
Thank you, sir.
All of you are very, very important.
Yes, sir.
Very important.
Yes, sir.
I will make sure that we do everything that is necessary as quickly as possible to help all of you.
Thank you, sir.
What I want you to do is to organize yourself.
Yes.
How we can reach out to you.
After addressing the protesters, the governor later met with some leaders of the protesting youth at the escort chamber at Government House, Jalingo, behind the camera. He disclosed that before the year runs out, 90% of the youth will be empowered and engaged. Dr. Abu Kepa said he is introducing the Educational Trust Fund to provide loans to students in federal tertiary institutions, adding that with the approval of ESCO, he is going to commit 2 billion naira to the fund to program when they graduate and they are employed, they can repay the loan. He said youth will be trained on the block molding machine acquired from South Africa and they will be empowered to participate in the ongoing reconstruction of schools. Similarly, Abu Kefa said electric car bought from China will soon arrive in the state, with the youth and the youth being the major beneficiaries. He encouraged the youth to be their brothers' keepers and extend a hand of fellowship to the needy.
We've been consulting, we've been talking, interacting with stakeholders, the citizens, to be able to identify some of the areas of protest, and it's a nationwide issues. And I believe that in the state, since my administration came in, we've started addressing some of those problems. So you can see that the people themselves acknowledge that this government is their government. So they were just coming out in solidarity with what is happening in other places. But we didn't want to just take chances because it can be hijacked and we don't know the spirit or who is behind some of these things and the motives. So they won't be able to use our own citizens to destroy what we are all building together. So from what we have seen today so far, I think it's a nice outing, it's peaceful, being able to calm nerves and talk to people.
Some of the youth who spoke their minds at the meeting said they were happy with the governorship leadership style and they pleaded with the governor to create platform to engage more youth and to be taken off the streets. Zachary Sanilo, Haske-Tv News.
And in another report, Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged Nigerians to be patient, reassuring them that President Bola Tinubu understands their concerns and anxiety. He stated this at the 2024 African Caucus meeting in Abuja. Our correspondent Farida Sanusi Abubakar completes this report.
Shettima, who represented President Bola Tinubu at the 2024 African Caucus meeting, stated this in response to the nationwide hunger protest. At the event themed Facilitating Intra-African Trade, Catalysts for Sustainable Economic Growth in Africa, held on Friday in Abuja, Shettima said the government is not aware of the plight of Nigerians. He, however, urged Nigerians to be patient with the president in the wake of the hardship occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidies, unification of the foreign exchange market, and other economic reforms. The VP also disclosed that the president is aware of the activities of the oil subsidy cabal, but added that he is determined to push on despite the difficulties being faced by the country at the moment. Farida Sanusi Abubakar, Haske-Tv News.
As part of measures to cripple the impact of hunger protests, authorities of the Federal Capital Territory had obtained a court order which restricted the protesters to MKO Abiola National Stadium. Recall that the conveners of the protest demanded to use Eagle Square for convergence, but authorities refused them approval on day one of the peaceful protest. Security forces suffered to control different groups which blocked roads and lit bonfire across Abuja when the protesters advanced to the Eagle Square. Unlike the first 2 days of Thursday and Friday of the protest, no single protester was sighted at the Abuja Stadium or anywhere within the capital city on day 3. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, Haske-Tv News will continue. Stay tuned.
Crystal is here to make our communities, rural areas and villages better.
Crystal is here to tackle deforestation, land degradation, erosion, desertification,
drought and climate change, repair damaged lands, show good farming methods and increase food production.
From Adamawa to Zamfara, Crystal is here. Across 19 northern states, FCT, Crystal is here. Crystal is here to make our communities, rural areas and lives better. Crystal is here to make for the women, farmers, youths. Domingo Gole Baba.
Adamawa, Bauchi, Benue, Borno, FCT.
Crystal is here to restore your land. Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina. Crystal is here to restore your land.
Kebi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger.
Crystal is here to restore your land. Get to Sokoto, Yobe, Taraba, Zamfara. Crystal is here to restore your land. Crystal is here to green our environment. Crystal is here to make life better.
The National Examination Council wishes to inform the general public that registration for the 2024 Senior School Certificate Examination SSCE External has commenced. Registration for the examination is to be done on the NECO website www.neco.gov.ng. Candidates should note that there will be a biometric verification during the examination. Registration fee 22,250 naira only per candidate, excluding other items. Payment is to be made into NECO Treasury Single Account TSA through 5 payment methods. 1. ATM card. 2. Internet banking. 3. USSD. 4. Wallet. 5. Bank branch. Closing date Wednesday, the 6th day of November 2024. For further information, please visit www.neco.gov.ng or any NECO state office nearest to you. Announcer, Professor Anthony Ibrahim Shishi, Registrar, Chief Executive.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. Central bank governors in Africa have expressed their concern over the rising cost of borrowing by African nations, stressing that the efficient development of the continent cannot be achieved at the current rates. The governors advocating a drastic cut in the cost of borrowing said this position will be submitted at the forthcoming International Monetary Funds and World Bank's annual meetings while conversing for the adoption of a common position by the continent. The governor, Bank of South Sudan, and chair of the Monetary Affairs Committee for the East African Community, Dr. James Garang, stated this in an interview with journalists at the sidelines of the 2024 African Caucus meeting held on Friday in Abuja. The African Caucus, established in 1963, aimed to strengthen the voice of African governors in the Bretton Woods institutions on development issues pertinent to Africa. In another report, Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, said on Friday that it has further approved student loans amounting to over 2,530,235,750 naira to be disbursed to 22,120 students across various institutions. The fund announced that the 1.1 billion naira was previously spent on institutional fees of over 20,000 students in several institutions across the country. But in addition to the institutional fees, NELFund said it has also commenced the payment of stipends for the upkeep of students, an initiative that will provide essential financial support for living expenses. NELFund spokesman Nasiru Ayutogo in a statement explained that a total of 442 million naira has been allocated for the month of July, stressing that the disbursements will ensure that Nigerian students can proceed with their academic activities unimpeded, thus fostering peace of mind that is much needed for these students and their families. Also, acting Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Alka Professor Carol Arinze Umobi, has paid an unscheduled visit to the university's hostels on Friday. The visit was aimed at gaining first-hand insight into the conditions of the university-owned hostels and engage directly with the students. The students were elated by the visit, expressing that their appreciation for her proactive approach in personally assessing their living conditions. The students also raised several issues, including inconsistent water supply, poor sanitary conditions, plumbing problems, unreliable power connectivity, and the need for internet services to enhance their academic progress. And that's all we have on Haske-Tv News tonight. Stay tuned to our other programs. I am Christiana Babayo.